This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you from our studio in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Once again, I'd like to take this opportunity of wishing each and every one of you the very first show of the X-Zone in the year 2011, a very, very happy, healthy, spiritually filled, prosperous, safe, love-filled new year. By the way, the X-Zone, the X-Chronicles newspaper for December 2010 is still available. Some of the stories include crimes against humanity at Napa State Hospital. This is with the information that Wayne Morin Jr. gave us on air in December. Mercury is in retrograde by our one and only Elizabeth Joyce. Searching for the Truth. Big Brother is watching. By the way, Searching for the Truth is by Dennis Balthaser. Big Brother is Watching by Jordan Farkas. Let me see. Your Physical and Spiritual Health by Bonnie McDade. We're talking about the passing of Stanley Fulham, a very well-known ufologist. Prominent Canadians who died in 2010. And no, I am not the Rob McConnell that is written about in that story. Thanks very much for the emails to Laura about my passing, but I'm still very much alive, thank you. Let me see. Tease and the Dangers of Texting, 2010 in review. Was the Star of Bethlehem a UFO? Amazing Historical Facts, Backcasting into the Future by Matt Stein. 2010, a big year for UFOs. Haunted Cemeteries in Pearl River, Colorado. The U.S. and Bible Prophecies. Common Myths about Diabetes. Life After Religion. From Websites to Peace of Mind. Bizarre News. Is 2012 the End? Astrology for January 2011. The Genesis Grid, Muslim, Christian, and Jew by Dr. Liepert. Real Life UFOs. Snippets from the Trenches from Frida Wagman. Let me see. 2012 Alien Invasion. Nope. The Exodus Revelation by our good friend Doug Elwell. The UFO Matrix magazine. And these are just some of the many stories that you will find in the December edition of the X-Chronicles newspaper. Now, if you'd like to get your complimentary link, thanks to our advertisers, you can go to www.xchronicles-newspaper.com or simply send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, and I will be happy to send you the link that you can either read the paper online, you can download it, you can print it, and it's now downloadable into more than 16 handheld devices. When I come back from this commercial break, on the other side, we're going to be going to an interview that was done with Dave Aaron by a good friend of mine, Chuck Harder, who used to be on the Talkstar Radio Network, and talking about the Ray Santilli film of Alien Autopsy. Also in that interview is our also a good friend, Stanton Friedman. Mark Center is also in the interview. It's going to be a good 8-minute interview. Wow, I'm losing it. 8-minute interview that was originally broadcast in the mid-'90s on the Chuck Harder Show for the People. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we have a second part to an interview that I did with Dave Aaron, who's also known as Video Dave, just before we went away on our Christmas holidays. I'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine like hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining room can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you're visiting, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, old Florida cuisine at its best.
Are you interested in the paranormal, ghosts, UFOs, or psychic phenomenon? Join me, Tim Bartley, co-host of Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina, coming mid-January 2017 to the XZBN. We will channel spirits live and talk to them, revealing all kinds of amazing information. Spiritual attachments will be found and removed on the show, and so much more. To find out when you can listen to Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina, visit www.xzbn.net for listeners on both sides of the veil.
Welcome back, everyone. Before we went away on our Christmas holidays, I had Dave Aaron on the show, and Dave contacted me and said, Rob, I have solved the propulsion system of a UFO. I had Dave on, and we had a good hour interview, and he sent me a video, X-Zone Nation, and what I've done is I've got clips of that video available to one and all at our Apple iTunes video library, or if you'd go to a special site that we did, www.videowaiting.com. There's clips there. But what I'd like to do right now is later on I'm going to play some of the video that Dave sent us. But right now I'd like to play for you, X-Zone Nation, part of an interview from a Chuck Harder show called For the People. Chuck is a very well-known and well-respected broadcaster. I had the pleasure of being on the same network with Chuck for a number of years. I've been on his show. And without further ado, sit back and listen. This is from the mid-'90s. It is Chuck talking to Dave Aaron, Mark Center, and also in this interview is Stanton Friedman. So here we go with the Chuck Harder interview.
Joining us from California is a gentleman who runs a strange business. Well, maybe not so strange. He's known to people in the video and the UFO community as Video Dave. How are you?
Just great. And off to my right is Mark Center, our computer expert. And Chuck, I want to tell you what a pleasure it is to be joining you live all over the nation at this moment.
Okay, now, Video Dave, you got into the UFO news clip service, and we want to tell the audience you provided a tremendous amount of footage for our UFO update package, for which we thank you. And you did it at no charge because you wanted the word out. Why do you want the word out? Why don't you have a real job somewhere?
Well, actually, Chuck, we do have a real job because we do supply the media from Encounters, Unsolved Mysteries, and about 6 other major UFO television programs that will be airing really soon. So we really make our income from the media. But to answer your earlier question, I was so mad when I had my UFO sighting in 1964 in Hacienda Heights, California, when a perfect disc came and landed in the field where the freeway is now. To make a long story short, we ran up to it. My dad and I saw it. It was a perfect disc. My dad ran inside because he knew what it was. He said it's one of those flying saucer things because he was in the Air Force. The police came. The object took off. I went back and read the police report a month later, and it said the object that my father and I witnessed that night must have been a helicopter, a silent helicopter that glides down to perfectly smooth landings in 1964. I got so mad at the desk sergeant that they were going to arrest me. I wanted to know who wrote that report. Where did that helicopter take off from? Why did it land in a field in Hacienda Heights, California? So before threatening arrest, I decided that I said I'm going to get even with you guys someday. I know that was not a helicopter. Then the home video recorder came out, and the home camcorder came out, and of course the rest is history.
Okay, Video Dave, you have with you Mark?
Right.
Okay.
Mark Center.
Mark, how do you fit into this puzzle?
I've known Dave for a couple of years. I bought a couple of tapes from him, and I'm online often. It's a hobby of mine, and I downloaded some GIFs and some information about the footage, and I asked him if he knew about it. He knew absolutely nothing about it. I came over to his house and showed him the pictures, and he was very excited, to say the least.
Okay, Mark and Dave. Now, Dave, you have seen the footage. We've seen the footage. You saw the footage at Fox, did you not?
Yes, sir, and besides that, as we're on television right now doing a multiple broadcast, both radio and TV,
right,
we also have some brand new, not released photos that Mark just brought over.
Okay. What do you think of the footage, Dave?
Chuck, it's not just the footage, it's everything and all the documentation that goes past the footage that gives me about a 95% pretty positive idea that what we're looking at is realistic. I'm still leaving 5% doubt just in case.
What is this documentation?
Stanton Friedman just said, what is the documentation?
Oh, Stanton Friedman is online also?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Stan, we didn't know that.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Well, the documentation, the cameraman statement was released a few days ago.
Yeah, but wait. What do you mean the cameraman statement? You mean Mr. Santilli's representation of the cameraman statement, don't you?
Correct, exactly. I don't know if, let me ask Mark, my computer expert, did Santilli write that?
It seems as though he took the statement and wrote it in his own words then.
Well, okay, do we know that there is a cameraman?
No, of course not. We don't, and that's why, Mr. Friedman, that this whole alien autopsy is so mysterious. Here we have networks paying tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to broadcast this. We have a statement by a cameraman, possibly written by somebody else, and that's why this whole entire case is just kind of rattling the whole world because there's no definite concrete, hi, I'm the cameraman, I live in London, England, I used to be stationed at Roswell, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, where do you think the cameraman really lives? Do we have any idea?
We've been given 3 cities, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Orlando. Got any more to add to the pile, Dave?
I thought he lived in London.
No, nobody's ever said London, to the best of my knowledge.
No.
Santilli lives in London.
No, Santilli's from England. We understand. What would make me believe the cameraman may have originally been from the Midwest is the story was that the footage was in his basement. Well, we don't have basements in Florida.
Or California.
So consequently, it appears to me that there's a high degree of probability that if anything in the statement from Santilli is correct, the gentleman may have lived at least at one time in the Midwest of the United States. I know a lot of cameramen who have basements and they live in the Midwest, and it's full of footage. One of my old friends who's since passed on had a basement full of footage of the death camps at Auschwitz and Dachau and Buchenwald when he was a Signal Corps photographer. So it's not unusual for cameramen to have their little private collections in the basement.
That's very true. And also, I don't know if you mentioned to your listeners and viewers that you also were in the film processing industry for many years. Yeah. Is that correct?
Yeah, we had a cameraman on earlier this hour who actually has a Bell & Howell Filmo of the vintage that was supposedly used in the Roswell autopsy. I personally used to use a Filmo, And, of course, you used to have to tape the shot, as we said, which was measure the shot from the with a flexible tape measure from the camera to the subject. If you wanted to get good focus, then you'd set the focus and roll the film. And, of course, they were spring-wound cameras, and they were not very sophisticated. They were used later on. Some of them were motorized and used later on by high schools and colleges to shoot what we called football films.
I think the situation here that first we really need, even though it's been about 40 or 50 years, I asked my cameraman to go to a two-shot here with Mark and I.
All right, hang on a minute because we've got to do a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what Bruce Maccabee just told us, that the film is from 47. Go away.
Molly Ivins.
Dave, Aaron, or Video Dave and Mark, the computer expert, are out in California. With me in the studio, Stanton Friedman, UFO researcher, and also Don Davison, who is the producer of the movie called The Force Beyond, which was shown on NBC. Dave, you had a comment, and we ran out of time at the break. Go ahead.
I'd like to turn the camera and mic over to Mark just for a second so he can tell you about the tremendous amount of messages going back and forth on the internet and the World Wide Web.
Hi, Chuck.
Hi. Go ahead.
I found it very interesting that without most of these people even seeing the footage, it is divided. There are true believers on there, and there are true skeptics on there, and I can understand why there's both. The newest information to come was from the BUFORA, and if you can believe what the people have posted who saw the footage there, you could have heard a pin drop.
Okay, we understand from Dr. Bruce Maccabee that, who was it, Stanton Friedman, got a piece of the film and had it analyzed?
Mr. Schell, who's a film expert who's written books and all that sort of thing. He's been following this very closely. He's on the net, and he got a piece analyzed which would indicate that the kind of film that it is wasn't made in 27, and they stopped making it in 57. So if you got your choice of 27, 47, and 67, clearly it's 47.
So the point of it is it looks like there's more information indicating that the film was probably at least shot in 1947. Video Dave, appreciate it. Also, Mark, thank you.
Thank you.
You bet.
Bye now.
Thanks for being with us. Wow. I have a feeling that we're going to learn a lot more about this.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see a DVD like no other. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dave Aaron. I created the UFO Audio Video Clearinghouse in 1986, hoping that possibly a UFO video would come in that would at least solve a portion of the UFO mystery. We've solved that portion of the UFO mystery now, the secret of alien propulsion. Now, I try to make this as simple as possible for you to understand. It's really not that difficult. Once you understand how an Alka-Seltzer tablet works or a Walgreens effervescent tablet works, you should be able to understand the basic principles of UFO flight.
Exonation, we're playing for you parts of a DVD that was sent to me by Dave Aaron, also known as Video Dave, all about UFOs. Now, the first part that we just heard was with our good friend Chuck Carter. This is part of the video that Dave sent us. When we come back from the news at the bottom of the hour, we're going to play a bit more of this very interesting video in which Dave Aaron claims to have solved the propulsion system of UFOs. Also in the next segment, when we come back from the news, you'll hear Bob Lazar. 1-800-610-7035 is our worldwide toll-free number. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X-Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. If you'd like to see the video clips that we've been playing this hour, www.videowaiting.com, and there's links to the entire video at that site as well. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
1-800-610-7035 worldwide toll free. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, Star Cable, X Zone TV, and our growing family of broadcast affiliates right across Canada, the United States, Central America, South America, the Pacific Rim, Asia, Africa, and Europe. If you'd like to share your paranormal experience with us, send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, and visit our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Dave Aaron is my guest this hour. I'm playing clips from a DVD that Dave sent me after our interview in December. Dave claims to have discovered the secret to UFO propulsion. So if you'd like to see some of the clips, as well as what Dave claims to be a UFO that is using this propulsion system that he claims is how UFOs go from A to Z, and they're using magnetic fields and so on, go to www.videowaiting.com. Now let's go back to our clips with Dave Aaron here in the X Zone.
Actually, UFOs don't fly. UFOs bend time and space. In fact, by using camera special effects, let me give you a demonstration of how you would move through time and space. We're going to move over to a place in Yucaipa on Wildwood Canyon Road here in the city of Yucaipa, called Wildwood Canyon Park. Now watch how I move through the trees using time and space. Of course, this is a special effect done via the camera, but it still gives you an idea of how you can move from time and space. Get this way without being able to work the camera. But as you can see now, ladies and gentlemen, there's two trees behind me. Now, there's time and space between these two trees. The time it takes for me to get to the trees and the space it takes me to get to the trees. What if I could eliminate that time and space? So here's what it would look like. I'm going to move from this tree, from where I'm standing, to the first tree, to the second tree, without actually moving. I'm going to have the time and the space move me there. Watch. Okay, I'm ready to move to tree 1. Now, as you can see, I'm at tree 1, yet I didn't walk here. I moved the matter, space, and time between me and the camera to now appear at tree 1. Now I will move to tree 2. I'm way over here. I don't know if you see me, but now I have moved the time and space matter between trees 1 and 2. In fast motion, it would look like this. And that's how UFOs basically fly. They move time and space to appear at one section to the other by bending the gravitational field, for this example, between me and the tree. So by moving the space and time between me and the tree, I appear at the tree, then I put space and time back to the way it normally was. I'll Be Right is probably the most incredible piece of UFO documentary you'll ever find. You're about to see how UFOs are propelled. Yes, I'm standing here right in Yucaipa, California on the 17th day of November, 2010. So here's your Thanksgiving Day present in the year 2010 from me to the millions and millions of people who have been literally lied to on what UFOs are. I can't show you an alien, I wish I could, but what I can show you is exactly how UFOs are propelled. In fact, UFOs don't fly like an airplane or helicopter. UFOs fly using antimatter and anti-gravity. So without any further ado, many people have told me that watched previews of this movie to move the UFO footage in the front of the film instead of leaving it in the middle. So that's what I'm going to do. At first, this movie started out with a lesson. But in screenings, people said, we want to see that footage. We want to see that footage of a UFO using anti-gravity, antimatter. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move the footage right to the front of the film, right to the front. So right now, let's take a look at this. I want you to sit down. I want to just give you one little warning here, which you saw at the beginning of the tape. Some things may be too intense for your children to watch. And if they are, use your best judgment. We don't want to scare your children. I would say that any child under the age of 14 really should not watch this film until you've watched it yourself. And now, without any further ado, the secrets of UFO propulsion, and the only video known to show a UFO making an anti-gravity, antimatter field. How would we know this? Because a scientist who defected from Area 51 and S4 predicted in 1991 that a UFO would have an invisible shield around it when it turned off its anti-gravity, antimatter generators. Without any further ado, here we go.
As the intensity of the gravitational field around the disk increases, the distortion of space-time around the disk also increases. And if you could see the space-time distortion, this is how it would look. As you can see, as the output of the gravitational field from the amplifiers becomes more intense, the form of space-time around the disk not only bends upward, but at maximum distortion actually folds over into almost a heart shape around the top of the disk. Now remember, this space-time distortion is taking place 360 degrees around the disk. So if you were looking at the disk from the top, the space-time distortion would be in the shape of a donut. When the gravitational field around the disk is so intense that the space-time distortion around the disk achieves maximum distortion and is folded up into this heart-shaped form, the disk can't be seen from any vantage point, and for all practical purposes is invisible. All you could see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take a look real closely at your TV screen. This videotape came into Weird TV, a section of a television show I had between 1995 and 1996. Remember, the statement from Bob Lazar stated that when an anti-gravity field, antimatter field surrounded a UFO, it would appear donut-shaped or hollow in the center. I take on any expert, any astronomer, any physicist. What you're looking at now is exactly what Bob Lazar predicted in 1991. Look again, look at your screen right now, look at the donut shape. Look how the camera picked up only the outer rim. Why? Because the antimatter, anti-gravity field of this UFO using element 116, which becomes and releases antimatter, produces a gravity field so strong as a black hole, that it actually bends the light waves. Let's look at this another time. I want to impress upon you over and over and over to call your local television station. Call your radio station. You can describe, or I can describe, what you're seeing. There's no way Bob Lazar could have predicted in 1991 of what a UFO would look like with its anti-gravity, antimatter system on, unless he actually worked there. In 1994, this videotape was shot someplace in the United States of America. Later on in this DVD, I will play the entire DVD. There is no more doubt the UFO cover-up is over. The government can no longer hide these two facts. How could Bob Lazar have stated, again, listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, listen, listen, listen. You have been part of the world's biggest lie ever since the statement, right, that UFOs don't exist. You're looking at a craft, a flying craft, that is producing before your very eyes an anti-gravity, antimatter visual picture. Look again. Let's move in a little closer. What is this? Is this an airplane? Is it a flying boat, an autogyro, a blimp, a helicopter, a 747, an A-83 Airbus? It's none of those. Look how you see right through the center of the craft. It is a UFO producing an antimatter, anti-gravity field, thus rendering it invisible. This is your definite proof. Do you have any other answers? There's no such thing as an invisible kite that I know of. How are you able to see through the sky? Because you can see through the craft, because the power system of this craft, and probably all UFOs, are so powerful. You're looking at something as powerful as a black hole, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, a black hole in outer space. This is the power this craft produces. Again, look at it again and again and again. You must understand that this is the final proof that UFOs are not only real, but there's no way that Bob Lazar could have predicted the future, that in 1991, when he made the videotape called Bob Lazar, an excerpt from the government Bible, that UFOs produce an antimatter, anti-gravity field, rendering the craft invisible, that in 1994, we've got this tape in 1995, it was taken in 1994, there's no way he could have predicted this. There's no way he could have known this. Henceforth, he is telling the truth. There is a secret base known as Area 51. There is most likely a secret base known as Area S4. Call your news media. Loan this portion of your DVD to your local television station. I tried here in the Los Angeles area calling every single VHF, very high frequency station, plus the Oprah Winfrey Show, plus the Discovery Channel. No one wants to air this because no one wants to know that the UFO cover-up is over. One of the most amazing video clips of all times. This is known as the Rio Casino video clip. Now, when you look at this clip, the Rio Casino was not the...
Anyway, Exonation, if you'd like to see this video, it's available at www.videowaiting.com. And what we're going to be doing starting in 1 hour from now, we're going to be playing it in a loop on X Zone TV. All you have to do is go to www.xzonetv.com and watch it. I would appreciate hearing from you, getting your opinion as to what you believe it is, what you are seeing, what your beliefs, what your thoughts are on Dave's presentation. Send it to me by email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. That's xzoneradiotv.com. Is it possible that Dave Aaron stumbled across the information and has in fact discovered the way that UFOs propel themselves? Is it possible that the governments of the world have had this knowledge and have suppressed it? Is it possible that at this very time, in some hangar in the United States, Canada, Great Britain, Russia, France, or any other great nation on this planet of ours, scientists are conducting reverse engineering and trying to manufacture this very propulsion system that Dave is talking about? Once again, www.videowaiting.com. And right after this segment, we're going to start playing this videotape, this DVD in its entirety on www.xzonetv.com. My name is Rob McConnell. I'll be back after this break.
19 Sergeant Central. 19 Sergeant, check. Officers on the scene.
Hi, I'm Larry Lawson, host of Paranormal Stakeout. With over 36 years in law enforcement, I have learned a few things. The most important is the proper gathering and preservation of evidence is vital to putting the bad guy behind bars. It's no different in the world of paranormal investigation. Whether it's the search for the afterlife, cryptozoology, UFOs, and extraterrestrials, how we gather the evidence, preserve that evidence, and present it to a jury of our peers will make the ultimate difference in proving the existence of worlds and entities that are beyond our imagination. Join me, Larry Lawson, every week on Paranormal Stakeout when, along with my guests, we'll take a journey to prove with indisputable evidence what man has struggled to believe for centuries. Go to xzbn.net for the broadcast schedule and check me out at paranormalstakeout.com.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A soul balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today. www.soulbalancing.world.
You're listening to the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. And welcome back, everyone. Once again, if you'd like to view the Dave Aaron video in its entirety, there's a number of ways that you can do it. You can go to www.videowaiting.com. That's videowaiting.com. And the name of the video is The Secret of UFO Propulsion. And it's billed as one of the most interesting subjects of all time. The Secret of UFO Flight was released on DVD in mid-November of 2010. This 2-hour DVD takes the viewer into 63 years of the UFO cover-up, alien abductions, and secret bases. It covers in detail, for the average human to be able to understand exactly how UFOs fly. UFOs do not fly. They dilate space and time. Think of moving from Earth to Mars not linear by disrupting the time-space distance. The Secret of UFO Propulsion will take the viewer into the workings of the power plant of a UFO, along with startling video footage of a UFO using its antimatter generators to render the craft invisible. Pilots create a massive anti-gravity field around a UFO. This gravity field is so powerful that it can bend light waves around the craft, thus rendering it invisible to the human eye. This information unfolded when an amazing video showing a UFO creating an antimatter, anti-gravity field forming on videotape. This, according to Dave Aaron, is the real thing happening. Now, it also includes interviews with Bob Lazar, Stanton Friedman, Chuck Carter, and Mark Center. Once again, you can view this video at www.videowaiting.com, and we're going to be playing it on a loop at www.xzonetv.com. And I would appreciate your email with your comments, your observations, and in general, what you think about the demonstration and the video footage of this alleged UFO using its antimatter, anti-gravity field generators. Send it to me by email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. That's www.xzoneradiotv.com. Once again, X Zone Nation, I'd like to take this opportunity from everyone here at the X Zone Radio Show, X Zone TV Show, Paragators, Sileyes, and of course our corporate entity, Relmar McConnell Media Group Company, and of course the beautiful, lovely, better part of my life, Laura Rogers. We wish you and your families, from our home, our families, and our friends, our associates worldwide, the very best of the year 2011. May love, spirituality, and everything good in life come your way. And also remember to thank a friend for being your friend. So until tomorrow night, as once again we meet here in the X Zone, together crossing the time-space continuum, from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, to your listening port, no matter where you are in this great big world of ours, take care of each other. And always remember to keep your eyes to the sky